Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are going to start question number 1 of exercise 2.1. It is to find the order of the following matrices. We are given with 6 matrices and we have to find their order. So, what is the order of matrices? It is m cross n, where m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns. So, we have to count the number of rows and the number of columns, and then we have to write it in the form of m cross n. So how many number of rows are there? There is one row. This is number 1. This is number 2 row. This is first column, second column, and third column. Similarly, we are going to count the number of rows and columns for all of these matrices. How many columns are there? 1 and 2. How many columns are there? Only one column. Here it is 1, 2, 3, and 4 columns. Here it is only one column, and here again there are only two columns, 1 and 2. Now we are going to count the number of rows. First row, second row, first row, second row, and this is third row. Now here this one is first row, this one is second row, this one is third row. For this question, this is the first row, and there is only one row. Okay, there is again only one row, and there are 1 and 2 rows. Okay, now we are going to write their order here. For the first part, m cross n, m is the number of rows, so 2 rows and 3 columns. So we are going to write here 2 cross 3. For second, it is 3 cross 2. So 3 cross 2. For the third part, we have 3 cross 1. For fourth part, we are having 1 cross 4. For the fifth part, it is 1 cross 1. And for the sixth part, it is 2 cross 2. Now in question number 2, we have to identify the following matrices as square, rectangular, row or column matrices. So first of all, you must know what is row matrix. The matrix that is having only one row. There is no restriction on the number of columns. There is only one restriction, that there should be only one row. And for column matrices, there should be only one column. There is no restriction for the number of rows, just there should be one column. So first of all, we are going to, then comes square matrix. Square matrix is the one where the number of rows and number of columns are equal. So for square matrix, you can write m equals n. This is the condition. For row matrix, we know that what is the number of rows? M is the number of rows, so m should be equal to 1. And for column matrices, n should be equal to 1. For rectangular matrices, if this condition, and this condition doesn't satisfy, then it is rectangular matrices, or you can also write it as m is not equal to n. So we are going to write here how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, and rows are 1, 2. Here there are 1 and 2 columns and 1 and 2 rows. Here there is one column and 1, 2, and 3 rows. Now here 1, 2, and 3 rows. Then 1, 2, and 3 columns. Here again we can see that there are 3 columns and 1 row, and here 1 column and 1 row. So now first of all, we are going to see if m equals n here. No, m equals 2 and n equals 3, so m is not equal to n. And similarly, none of the values equal 1, so it is a rectangular matrix. I'm going to write it here, rectangular. Okay, now this one, the number of rows are 2 and the number of columns are also 2, so m equals n, so it is a square matrix. Here the number of columns is 1 and the number of rows are 3, so therefore m not equals to n, but m equals 3 and n equals 1. So when n equals 1, it is called column matrix. Here we can see that there are 3 columns and 3 rows. When the number of columns and number of rows are equal, so it is a square matrix. Now here there is 1 row and 3 columns. So when there is 1 row, it is called a row matrix. We can also say that it is a rectangular matrix, but it is more closer to a row matrix because it is following its condition. That is why it is more appropriate to be row matrix. Now here number of rows is 1, number of columns is also 1. So when both of them are same, we call it a square matrix. Now it could also be column or row matrix, but both of them are equal now, so it is more appropriate to be said as square matrix. For starting question number 3, you must know what is a diagonal matrix, what is a scalar identity, lower triangular or upper triangular matrix. To know these matrices, you must know that where there is a must 0 in these matrices and the rest of the terms are either 0 non-zero, depending upon the name. Okay, for diagonal matrix and scalar matrix and identity matrix, these 6 places are must be 0. Okay, these 6 places must be 0. You can see them in diagonal, scalar and identity matrix. For diagonal matrix, the left 3 places, any one of these 3 spaces must be a non-zero element. The rest can be 0 or non-zero depending upon whatever the matrix is. But at least one of the leftover spaces must be a non-zero element. I'm repeating, any one of these empty spaces must be a non-zero element. It can be the other two can be 0 or can be non-zero depending upon the situation. So I'm writing an example over here: 1, 2 and 3. There can be 0 in these 2 places, but at least the third place should be a non-zero element. Now for scalar matrix, these 3 spaces must be written with a same number. There cannot be any number in these places. There should be a same number. For example, if there is -1 written over here, then there should be a -1 here too, and also here. These 3 spaces should be the same. If there is a 2 over here, then these 2 spaces must also contain 2. For identity matrix, if these should be zeros and the diagonal should be of 1, this is a must for identity matrix. It has no other choices or option left. Okay. For lower triangular matrix, there is an upper triangle and a lower triangle. When the upper triangle is smaller one and the lower triangle is bigger one, then it is called lower triangular. And when the upper triangle is bigger one and the lower triangle is smaller one, then it is called upper triangular. For lower triangular, we see that this upper triangle is 0 and the lower triangle is filled with non-zero entities, or they can be 0 depending upon the circumstances. So for example, first of all, you should know that amongst this place, I must draw a question mark on these places. Okay. And a star on these. Amongst the spaces I've written a question mark, there should be at least one non-zero element. One non-zero element is a must. Others can be 0, can be non-zero. It's depending upon your choice. But any one of the element, at least one of the element among these question marks must be a non-zero element, and same goes for the star elements. There should be at least one element amongst these star elements which is non-zero. Rest can be 0 or non-zero depending upon the choice. But any one of these star elements must be a non-zero, and any one element amongst these question mark elements must be a non-zero. Same goes for upper triangular. I'm drawing a question mark here and star over here. Any one of these star elements must be a non-zero element, and any one of the question mark elements must be a non-zero element. The rest can be 0 and non-zero. Okay, so I'm going to write an example of lower triangular matrix over here. Now we know that any one of these 3 elements should be a non-zero, so I'm writing any non-zero number over here. For example, 1, it can be in this place or this place. The rest can be 0 or non-zero, but at least one non-zero element. I fulfilled this major condition, and the rest can be 0 non-zero depending upon my choice. I'm writing 1 0 and 1 non-zero. Now amongst these star elements, there should be at least one non-zero, so I'm writing a non-zero over here, and then these 2 can be 0 non-zero depending upon my own choice, so I'm writing a 0 over here and a 4 over here. Same goes for upper triangular. At least one non-zero element in these question mark places, so I'm writing -1 over here, and the rest can be 0 non-zero depending upon total my choice, so 0 and 0. Okay, in these star places, there should be at least one non-zero element, so I'm writing -3 over here, and the rest can be 0 non-zero. I'm writing -4 and -5. Okay, so this is upper triangular matrix, this one is lower triangular matrix, this one is a diagonal matrix, this one is a scalar matrix, and this one is identity matrix. Now we are going to start question number 3. If we haven't understood any one of the type of matrices in detail, you can rewind the video and revise it again, but without having a complete understanding of all these matrices, you won't be able to solve this question fully. But matlab you can just get a review again of it and then come back to this question. Okay, so first of all we are going to start with the matrix A, which is 3 0 0 0 1 0 and 2 6 0. This is the upper triangle, which is 0, and this is the major lower triangle, which is filled with some 0 and some non-zero entities. You can see that the diagonal is containing at least one non-zero element. Now there are two, so at least one condition is fulfilled. And in these star, which I have represented in star in the video just a little bit beforehand, there are two non-zero elements over here too, so it is again completing the condition of at least one non-zero element. So we are going to make a triangle over here. Just wait for a while. You see, this is a triangle which is non-zero, and this is the upper triangle which is completely zero, so you can say it as a lower triangular matrix. I'm writing it over here, a lower triangular matrix. Okay, because the lower triangle is containing numbers with zeros and non-zeros, and but the upper triangle, which is a smaller portion, is completely zero. Now moving towards part B, which has yes, it has three entities which are quite same, equal to each other, and the rest of these diagonal entries, all elements are completely zero. So what do we call such a matrix? Yeah, it is a scalar matrix. Okay, if it was 1 over here, what would it be? Yes, it would be an identity matrix. Okay, so now part C is 1 2 0 0. What type of matrix this is? Okay, let's check. Diagonal matrix, no, there is another entity which is non-zero, which is not even in the diagonal. Now scalar matrix and identity matrix have the same structure as the diagonal matrix, so if it is not a diagonal, then it can't be a scalar and identity matrix too. Now we are going to check if it's a lower triangular matrix. First of all, just wait for a while. Okay, here it is. I'm making a triangle over here, and you see that this triangle is containing 0 and non-zero elements, but the upper triangle is completely 0. This triangle is 0, and this one is containing 0 and non-zero elements. These are the two question mark elements. There is at least one non-zero element, and this is the star element. There is again at least one non-zero element over here. So what do we call such a matrix? Yeah, it is a lower triangular matrix again. Lower triangular matrix. Now moving towards part D, there is 1 in the diagonal and zeros in the non-diagonal entries. So what would it be? Yes, it's very simple. It is an identity matrix. If there would be a 3, 3 and 3, what would it be then? Yeah, it would be a scalar matrix, because when all the diagonal entries are same, then it is called scalar matrix, but all the diagonal entries are same as well as they are 1, then it is called an identity matrix. Now there are diagonal entries with 0 and non-zero entries, and there is at least one non-zero. Basically there are two, but at least one वाली condition तो fulfill हो रही है ना, and the rest of the elements are completely zero, so it is called a diagonal matrix. For part F, you can see that there is a triangle which is, the lower triangle is basically 0, and the upper triangle is containing 0 and non-zero elements, and you can see in the upper triangle that the diagonal entries, which are the question mark entries, are having at least one non-zero element. Basically there are two, and the non-diagonal entries, which is 1 2 and 6, they are also containing completing the condition of at least one non-zero element, which is basically there are totally non-zero elements over here, so we can call it an upper triangular matrix. Upper triangular matrix. For part G, there is there is a diagonal entry which is non-zero, and the rest of the diagonal entries are also zero, and the non-diagonal entries are totally non-zero, and so you can call it a diagonal matrix. Why is it diagonal matrix? Because in the question mark entries, these diagonal entries, there is at least one entry which is non-zero. And why is it not an identity matrix? Because identity matrix needs all the diagonal entries to be completely 1 and the rest of them are 0. The rest of them are 0 in this G matrix, but all the diagonal entries are not 1. The two of them are zeros and one of them is just 1, so we call it diagonal matrix. Okay, now H is what? Okay, see that there are two diagonal entries which are similar to each other, and the rest of the two entries, the non-diagonal entries, are 0. So what would it be? Yes, a scalar matrix. Why? Because the diagonal entries are same and totally equal to each other, and the non-diagonal entries are 0, so it will be a scalar matrix. So this is over. Thank you so much.